What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your speakers to your mixer. Now in this video we'll be showing you how to do this with our very own Rockmix 10FX, but these are the exact steps you'd want to follow for any other passive mixer or USB recording interface mixer. So first I want to show you guys how to connect your speakers to the mixer so that when we're going through all the different features you'll be able to hear everything coming through the mixer. So here I have my DPM-5 powered speakers that I'm going to connect right to the mixer. Now if you're using speakers with the mixer, you always want to be sure they're powered like these guys here, or you can use passive speakers powered by an amplifier. Now we have two options here to use for the outputs of the mixer, so we can use either the XLR balance outputs or the 1/4 inch unbalanced outputs, depending on what kind of speakers you have or what kind of cables you have. For today I'm going to use the balanced XLR output, so I'll need two XLR cables. So I'm going to take the female ends of both cables and plug them into the main mix XLR outputs on the mixer. Then I'll take the other ends and plug them into the XLR inputs on the back of the speakers. We also have the 1/4 inch monitor outputs here on the mixer, and we can actually use those at the same time for a total of 4 speakers. The monitor outputs are also good to use for your main monitors while you're mixing in the studio, or in a live sound scenario where you can use the main outputs for the speakers that point toward your audience, while the monitor outputs are used for the musicians on stage to hear back what they're playing. So the possibilities with this mixer are truly endless. So now let's go ahead and turn on the mixer, and then we'll turn on our speakers. Then we'll want to turn up the volume knobs on the back of the speakers themselves. Now you always want to be sure to turn on your mixer first before your speakers to avoid a popping sound through your speakers from the power coming through your mixer. And when you're turning everything off in your setup, you actually want to turn off your speakers first before your mixer, again to avoid a popping sound. Now if you're using a mixer like this and active PA speakers for a live sound setup, you're going to do the same exact thing by using either the main balanced XLR outputs or the 1/4 inch unbalanced outputs, depending on the inputs of your active PA speakers. And like I mentioned, we can set up additional speakers through the monitor outputs for musicians on stage. So to do that, I'm going to need a couple of 1/4 inch cables. I'm going to take one end of both cables and plug them into the monitor outputs here on our mixer. Then I'm going to take the other ends and plug them into the 1/4 inch inputs on the back of my speakers. So now I'll go ahead and turn on my additional speakers. Then I'll raise the volume knobs on both speakers as well. So now we can raise the volume for our main speakers with the main mix knob here. I also set up a microphone to channel 1 so we can test our speakers. So if I turn it on right now, check 1 2, check 1 2. You'll hear my voice coming out of the main speakers right now. And so now I can raise the monitor knob here to raise the volume coming out of my monitors. So if I raise that up, check 1 2, check 1 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming out of both sets of speakers. So with this setup, you'll hear everything that comes through the main mix through your monitors, but you can also have a setup where you send specific channels through your speakers if you use the FX send output. So to show you guys how this works, I have my Titan powered speaker here that I'm going to be using with my FX send. So I'll just take a 1/4 inch cable, plug one end into the FX send, then I'll plug the other end into the input on the back of my speaker. So now you just hear my voice coming through the main speakers, but if I raise the FX knob, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming through the Titan as well. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your speakers to your mixer. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.